This is way better than we thought. Got big Padres news for you, everybody. What's going on? I'm Christian Pedersen, back with another episode of Padres Digest, your show that rides emotionally shotgun with you all season long as the Friars are coming up to opening day. They are announcing their 2025 roster, and there are some really big implications of who they have picked for the bench. We are breaking down all of the decisions in different videos. This one dedicated to Brandon Lockridge. Congratulations to him for making a Major League Opening Day squad. Here is what I think. The simple summary, it's a great choice. The longer, though, is the implications of what he could potentially be have such fantastic upside that you got to hear me out. But let me know, though, what you think. Drop a comment below if you think he was the right choice, if you think he got snubbed, if someone else got snubbed. His role largely is going to be the utility backup outfielder to fill in for everybody else. Let me show you the numbers. This one right here is a home run from last season that you can take a peek at while I pull up the numbers for you here. They're good from the 2025 spring training. That's really, really good. Overall, you can see that his Major League Baseball sample size is very small in terms of his existing professional numbers. That home run that I showed you is his only Major League home run, but he has technically been there before. He is 28, so not necessarily like some young, hot, up-and-coming. He's a guy who is maturing into what should be his best baseball self right now. And I think that there is a very interesting possibility here that we could get a lot more of this offseason or this season. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be hitting 2 or 3 home runs a day out here, just absolutely crushing it. But, what I'm showing you here is a sample size that we have seen now to demonstrate that this guy has a good bat, if not a plus bat. A bat that is not a step down below average WAR for backup outfielders in Major League Baseball bat. This is a plus bat. This is somebody who, if we're going to be giving Tatis or or Jackson Merrill, or God forbid we give Jason Hayward a day off. That's another video, though. Like I said, go hit the subscribe button so that you get all of these videos, including my breakdown of what Jason Hayward needs to. Sorry, I need to focus. I'm here with you guys. Like I said, riding shotgun emotionally. This is not objective journalism. This is reactionary life living-ism. But back to Lockridge, back to moments like this. Look, if you are assembling a team, to me, for the Padres this season, in terms of like what is the best version of them, and I talk about this on a lot of the other videos in terms of what they were losing in the offseason with people like Profar, with people who could play multitudes of positions like a Ha-Sung Kim, with people who were just generally there to just be like, hey, if our dude, like if Fernando Tatis has to miss a game or two, or just needs to take a day at DA, like just whatever we need to do to keep him healthy all season long requires plugging somebody occasionally else in right field. Then you look at these numbers and you look at this kind of contact and this kind of power, and you're telling me that you would say no to that? It's ridiculous. No, he's like, is it going to extrapolate out all season long? It'd be cool. It'd be crazy if he hit 3-something this season. But look, if he can here to me is the master upside plan. with the exclusion of let's address him maybe taking over in left field later. But the master plan out the gate, it seems, for the San Diego Padres is to have this guy be available in right and center on any given day to be the backup. Have this guy be available in left field for a conditional platooning thing with Jason Hayward, it seems. And then also have him available back end of games as a right-handed substitute bat, plus a guy with some speed. If you listen to what Mike Shildt has talked about in terms of Lockridge, the praise that he's been saying, all spring training, it has been, yes, we like him, we like his attitude, like a lot of the generic platitudes, but he very frequently brings up his speed and his ability to steal bases and to get extra bases. And I think that having a guy who goes from not only being able to serviceably play defense in the outfield because of that speed, but also then be plugged in later in games, and even if it's not be Ricky Henderson and swipe a bag automatically, it's the threat of, if that ball's in the gap, he goes first to third easily. Maybe if it's deep right center, he goes first to home easily. Stretching that out, keeping the pitcher's attention somewhat vaguely split between the two so that he needs to, so that he loses a little bit of spin on the slide. Like, just, that guy who's in the back of your mind just because he's over there. So you're kind of like, okay, I got to just somewhat pay attention. Having this kind of guy is a huge plus for the San Diego Padres. I think having this kind of guy is a better backup than we could have hoped for initially going into spring training. I think that that's not a slight on who showed up, that it's just we didn't know what we were getting. We lost, and no matter how Profar ended the season or looking at the career numbers or whatever, Profar was an all-star last year, so we lost an all-star left fielder. Padres lose some other backup pieces and some utility guys that filled some other roles. Padres need to replenish depth and keep guys healthy while not dropping off the face of the earth and having to force other guys to do other things and overperform and having the lineup just fall apart when our main pieces are out. We didn't know who that was going to be. We had some thoughts. We had some this. What about that? Could it be this? Is that? What seemed to really rise here, though, is that Brandon Lockridge, at the very least, is ready to be a major leaguer. So we will see on the sample size. Maybe it will grow into a better visualization of who he is. But if you look at the minor league numbers that he has put up, and you look at the couple of at-bats that he's, a little cup of coffee, the big time that he's had, I think all the evidence is there that we are dealing with a guy who, then we got to come to the question of, how soon do we start talking about him playing well on the bench as the 1-2 guy, the number 2 guy behind right and center. He's getting some DH spots maybe, but Jason Hayward is dragging and is not doing well out there in left. How soon do you talk about Lockridge taking over? And I will do that video when we get closer to it, because it doesn't have to be right away. I think if I'm reading the tea leaves, and again, go watch the other videos, hit subscribe, leave a comment if you think that I'm crazy, or drop a comment what you think the master plan is. But my interpretation of the tea leaves is the Padres giving that outfield spot to Jason Hayward is a nod towards he's a veteran. He'll get it up to speed. He's going to be rock solid, no downside. He'll do it. Or he's here on a very minimal deal, and we can quickly usher him aside for somebody else. So I don't think that they're in love with him, but I think that they're going to give him that grace period of a couple of weeks, maybe 2 months tops. I think that let's call it 1 month into the season, we'll check the temperature. But I think that there's a very good chance that you pretty early on can have people and will have people wanting to have the conversation of moving to this guy in left field full time if he can hit anywhere near these numbers. That's just my thought. We'll do the video on that when it comes time to actually talk about those discussions. But to close the loop, it's a great thing, and it's in a better situation than we thought we were going to be in as a Padres outfield. So let me know what you think, though. Drop a comment below. Hit the subscribe button. We'll talk to you all season long.